If you're a lineman in charge of keeping the lights on, Grainger understands that you go to great lengths and sometimes heights to ensure the power is always flowing, which is why you can count on Grainger for professional-grade products and next-day delivery, so you have everything you need to get the job done. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Conjuring Last Rites. On September 5th.
Come down, everyone in your house!
Lorraine! Lorraine! Lorraine!
The Conjuring Last Rites. Only in theaters September 5th. Rated R.
And now, a special edition of the Toddcast podcast.
Powered by Citywide Mortgage Services, providing complete financing and mortgage services for residential and small commercial businesses. Visit them at citywidemortgage.ca.
Now, here's your host, Todd Hancock.
Did you ever look up at the night sky and wonder if we're alone in the universe? If the stories are true, we've had company for a long, long time. UFO sightings date back centuries before drones, satellites, even airplanes. Think about it. Ancient cave paintings show strange disc-shaped objects. Or go back to 1561 and read about this celestial event over Nuremberg. Hundreds of people say they saw glowing spheres and cylinders in the sky. This is historical record. Of course, you know about Roswell, New Mexico, 1947. A UFO crashed in the desert. The U.S. government said, no, it was a weather balloon. More recently, files from the Pentagon show military encounters with flying objects that defy physics. No wings, no exhausts. They move at impossible speeds, impossible turns. Should we get into alien abductions on this podcast? There are some super famous ones, of course. Betty and Barney Hill back in 1961. Travis Walton in 1975. People say there's chunks of time missing from their lives, strange marks on their bodies, implanted memories. Think about that. Some researchers say they might be living among us, working in plain sight. So do aliens visit us? Have they always visited? Are they watching us? You'll hear from 9 guests this week and their thoughts on aliens, visitation, abduction. In sports, a gritty wrestling legend, a bikini pro, and a former UFC champ. In entertainment, an actor you'll know from Riverdale, a spiritual psychologist, and the champ of Dancing Queens. You'll hear from this week's musical guests and get their thoughts on aliens in just a sec. A singer of one of rock's elite bands, a drummer that you'll know from her awesome Instagram account, and a legendary producer. You'll definitely know the music that he's helped create. My name is Todd Hancock. Thank you so much for coming to check us out or coming back. You know I love the repeat offenders. And it's because of our awesome sponsors we're able to keep making these podcasts. Like our title sponsor, Citywide Mortgage Services. It's simple. If you're shopping for a mortgage in Vancouver, the Lower Mainland, use Citywide Mortgage Services. One of the owners, Dara, a good friend of mine, he actually helped me with my renewal at the start of the year. And because they're an independent broker, they work for you. They don't work for the banks. They shop around, get you the best rate. And if you want a free consultation, because they do that, hit them up. Whether you're buying a first home or refinancing, you need a second mortgage, Dara and his team can help guide you through that process. A couple phone calls, a couple emails, and I was done. Wonder what it'll be like for you. Use my network to better yours. Jump on citywidemortgage.ca, citywidemortgage.ca, and book that free consultation. All right, so coming up in just a few minutes, listen to this. Mick Mars' solo project singer Brian Gamboa talks about his career highlights. That is powered by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley. RV service, repairs, yes, they are ICBC accredited, and 9-year sponsor, no break. Another big reason we're able to keep blasting out these podcasts, doing live shows. I cannot say it loud enough. Big love to Tamra and her crew. You can find them kicking around online from time to time on Facebook and Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies. First, let's get to some musical guests and their thoughts on aliens, abductions, and everything else. Godsmack, 3 consecutive #1 albums, 12 #1 songs, Grammy nominations, millions of albums sold, and their singer, Sully Erna, is deep into aliens.
Dude, not only visited, man, I am such a strong believer in whole extraterrestrial technology and life on other planets and stuff like that. I'm actually really good friends with Stephen Greer, who released the documentaries Serious Disclosure and Unacknowledged. And I am way, way into that stuff, man. And I am not only a true believer, but I really believe that in the next 5 to 6 years that I think we're going to have some exposure, some real exposure. And, you know, I know that they're working on things right now that are going to trap the government into forcing them to expose all the stuff that they have. And if they don't, they're going to release it anyways, because there's way too many people now that have worked for the government, even up to like 5-star generals and, you know, people that aren't crackpots. They're like legit people, and they're coming clean with it. And they're just like, listen, you know, this is holding back the human race. This is holding back how we're going to advance, and you guys need to release this technology and stuff because the people are ready for it. And, you know, they're claiming that, like, oh, the people can't handle it, but everyone else is saying, like, we'll be fine. Like, and if this stuff gets exposed, it could project us 100 years into the future. And so it's one of those things that's very hard for people to believe, and if you're not in tune with it, I can understand why people may think you're a crackpot or think it's just, like, too out there to believe. But I truly believe it exists, and I've seen enough to convince me that there's no way it doesn't exist. And it's pretty ignorant to think that we're the only little speck in this universe, and we don't even know how many universes there are, to think that it has life form on it.
You know, I've had enough people answer that question with, dude, not only have they visited, but they're probably living among us present day, like right now.
For sure. Yep. Yeah. I believe it, man.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of stuff exposed, and I think when it comes out, it's going to be a shit show.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Religion, that goes right out the window.
Totally right. And how's that for a quote? They're working on things right now that are going to trap the government. So I'm going to take you from Godsmack's singer to sponsored drummer Brooke Colucci, better known online as Rock Angel. She was at one point the drummer for Plush, if you know that band.
Yes, I do. I fully believe that, you know, aliens exist, and, you know, I'm big into like conspiracy theories. I love watching videos about all that stuff. And I saw one about how they think that the aliens helped build the pyramids in Egypt, which is really interesting.
Right, with like the precision degrees and everything all lines up, and it's like, how did we couldn't even with today's technology make it?
Yeah, it's so weird too, because like I forget which stars, because I saw this a while ago, but the points of the 3 pyramids line up with the 3 stars in the sky, which that to me is also just crazy, because like, again, like the precision of like building that so it lines up perfectly, like how?
What? Has to be. And like, I've talked to some people that believe that we present day live among aliens.
Maybe. I mean,
it's people that look weird, I guess. You know, I've watched enough stuff online. I've heard the same thing. They think that the aliens helped build the pyramids in Egypt, which is really interesting. And from drummer Brooke Colucci to producer Toby Wright, you'll know a ton of his stuff. Alice in Chains, Korn, Slayer, Kiss. He's mixed tracks for Metallica, Seven Dust, Three Doors Down, is an absolute monster in the game.
I think they're still here, and they live here.
There you go. I also think the same thing. I think they live among us. They don't look any different than the rest of us.
There's some strange-looking people on this planet. Like,
yes.
You know, so definitely. Are those them?
Right. Like, you never know.
I don't know.
You never know.
Right.
The Toddcast podcast is powered by Milano Coffee, bringing you the finest espresso and coffee concepts in the world. Online at milanocoffee.ca.
Well, it's cold. Yeah, it's cold outside, but it's even colder in here with you.
to this on the Toddcast podcast.
When you think about the common thread with most musicians, it's that music has always been in their lives. It's driven them. Certainly such is the case with Brian Gamboa. You'll know him for many reasons. He's one of the singers on Motley Crue's guitarist Mick Mars's solo album. More on that in a sec. And you'll know him from a band called Third Mist as well. He was the lead singer and lead guitarist in that band. They were semi-finalists on the Star Search in the mid-90s, if you remember that. And around that time, Brian produced a big charity concert sponsored by MTV and wrote the theme song, We Have the Voice, that was played at high schools across the U.S. He's a producer and engineer. It's great to have a home studio for stuff like that. He said it took some time for him to warm up to grunge, kind of stomped out his band. Nirvana, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, the juggernauts of today. No surprise. Brian talked about being influenced by bands like Kiss and Sammy Hagar. He was part of the 80s glam rock, seeing Neil Diamond in concert, playing for the U.S. troops, and quickly back to working with Mick Mars. Listen to this.
First time I met Mick.
Which one?
You know, it's Mick Mars. I mean,
it's like, holy crap.
I grew up listening to that soundtrack and listening to those guitar riffs and trying to play them, and from very young. And I mean, and it's overwhelming. And then you get in front of him, you meet him, right? And he's just so nice, and he's down to earth, and he's humble, and he just, man, he's lovely to be around, and
that's awesome. Like from straight up, like a guy that, I don't know about you, but I had Crew posters on the wall, man. Crew, Rat, and all those guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is absolutely the highlight. And all the guys, like I said, that are associated with this project, they're all like that. Yeah. They're all, and I mean, they're amazing. And since I've lived in Nashville, I've been so fortunate to have some friends, and it's weird. There's so many times I played on stage with people that I completely looked up to, still do, because they're exceptional at what they do. And then when they turn out to be good people too, that's,
yes. Thank God.
But yeah, Mick is, and it's, I consider myself just completely lucky, fortunate, humbled, completely grateful. And I owe that to Paul, for that. He was working with Mick on a song, and he was, kind of feeling out some things, and they had talked about it. Mick had said early on that he's always thought it was really cool albums like the Beatles, and where they have multiple singers, and the Eagles, and because you're not limited on a record, you can walk in several paths. You may have a signature that ties it together, which of course, I mean, his guitar sound will always do that because it's so unique, and his playing style. But when you have different singers, the sky's the limit, and whatever he's feeling, he can find somebody to deliver that. And how awesome is that? Paul was working on it. Like I said, we've been friends for a long time. And I think Paul had kind of remembered a song we did a long time ago where it had this chorus, and it had a lot of like anxiety to it, a lot of torment, a lot of anguish, and that's kind of what they were looking for. So I was just going to demo it out. So there's at that point in time, let's put a vocal on it and just make sure everything else is going to work, or if we need to change, how it goes. And yeah, so I demoed it, and that was going to be cool enough, right? Hey, Mick might get to hear my voice on this song. How cool is that?
Totally right. Yeah, that's right.
That was bucket list right there, And then when it came a little later that
it's on, let's go.
He wanted that, and he wanted me to sing on it. It was mind blowing, and it was really wow. Especially, Jacob Button was already singing the songs, and I don't know how familiar you are with Jacob, but Jacob Lynham and Adler and all of Jacob's projects, and he's a phenomenal singer. He's a monster singer. He's so good. I mean, and Jacob could do whatever he wanted to do. Like he's versatile. He's a monster, really, instrumentally and vocally. I'm a fan. I love his work. I love his voice. And so I'm like, what? So, really? So that's how I felt. I'm like, okay, thank you. I don't, what do you say to that? I don't want to do that record.
Listen to this on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley, an ICBC approved repair shop. Visit them on Facebook and Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies. And now, highlighting our next Blue Light Sessions, powered in part by Canadian Club Whiskey. Meet your new cold one. We serve Canadian Club and Ginger ready-to-drink cocktails at all of our live shows. Visit CanadianClub.com today.
Been 20 years now, fighting with the armor.
Sunshine. The band is The Thick of It, and a great song for those guys called FDA, and they're headlining our next live show. So it's a few Fridays from now. On Friday, September 19th, Blue Light Studio, volume 42 of our Blue Light sessions. Quickness will open up the night. Going to play something from those guys in just a little bit. If you've been, you know how the night shakes out. Super cool, super unique. 45-minute sets where I interview the bands. You can ask them questions as well. There's the performance too. If you remember Much Music back in the day, how they did that intimate and interactive, I kind of try to mirror it like that, where, you know, they play stuff, we talk, they play stuff, we talk, sort of thing. So buy tickets early and save money. It's $20 right now through eventbrite.ca. $25 if you wait for the door. Again, Eventbrite, B-R-I-T-E, eventbrite.ca. Doors are at 7 o'clock for our shows. Shows start around 8:15, something like that. Hope you can make it out. This one, of course, is going to be one hell of a barn burner. I played you Spendo as well. That was their awesome song called This Feeling. Here's a jewel in Vancouver's music scene. The boys asked me to host their last show at the Wise Hall just 3 months back now. A fantastic night from start to finish. Wet Future was also on that bill. It's a cool band from Victoria, if you don't know those guys, Wet Future. And Spendo has agreed to play another podcast show in the new year. We haven't really dialed everything in just yet, but you can look forward to that. They played a couple years back, and minutes, like literally minutes before their show, I'm laughing because it turned out okay, but their drummer went into anaphylactic shock. Not even kidding you. Minutes before, just by chance, they grabbed a friend from the audience, from the crowd, to play the bongos. He knew the songs well enough, and while Buddy, the drummer, was taken to the hospital. Crazy, right? Okay, so coming up shortly in Stop Me, if you've heard this before, comedian John Doerr talks about his career highlights. He's had many, of course. That is powered by the Home Dwell Group. One of their partners is a longtime friend, Kyle. We've literally known each other since grade 6. Thick as thieves. Still today, we still hang out all the time. He's been in that world since graduating high school, too, in one form or another, designing homes and cool buildings that you would probably know in downtown Vancouver. So if you're buying or selling homes, do it with Home Dwell. If you're looking for a trusted realtor, Kyle knows the ins and outs. Get a hold of him through homedwell.ca, homedwell.ca. First, let's get you back to more guest highlights in this All Things Aliens podcast and some thoughts from sporting guests. You've probably noticed when someone talks about seeing a UFO or being abducted, they're suddenly crazy. That stigma has been there for decades. So much so that if you were abducted, would you even say anything? Or would you just keep quiet? Pilots, military personnel, even scientists, they fear ridicule, even losing their careers. But with governments slowly releasing footage and data, it's a data, maybe the real question is, why are people afraid to tell the truth? You'll know retired professional wrestler Scott Levy better as Raven, a game changer in the 90s, dark and brooding, one of the best ever at mind games. Every match was a story, intense rivalries, inducted into Impact Wrestling's Hall of Fame. The dude's a legend, and you're going to love Raven's reply.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you study ancient alien theory, there's no way they haven't. You know, I'm really well versed in that area. It's a big hobby of mine, and I've probably read like 50 books on it. And yeah, I mean, the Sumerian, I could go way back, but the Sumerian culture, the first culture that ever existed, and they had a bicameral parliament. They had a bicameral legislation. I mean, they had the first. I mean, this is 6,000 years ago. They had doctors. And the doctors were only paid if the patient healed, if the patient got better. Think about that. They had a welfare state. They had all this stuff 6,000 years ago that nobody knows about. And there's no way, and it just sprung up from nowhere. There had to be aliens involved. And here's the thing: if you just think about it from a religious point of view, just take God for an instance. The Jews, God comes down and tells the Jews that you're going to wipe out all these other people. You're my boys, and you're going to wipe everybody else out. Does that sound like a fair and loving God? No, it sounds like an alien trying to take over, and an alien would be seen as a god by people who don't know any better.
Right.
You know, by people who just, dig in the mud. And it makes a lot more sense that an alien is telling Laura, you're going to wipe out all these people with our help, than then I'm the kind and loving God, but I'm going to be vengeful and wrathful and make you kill all these people for no reason, even babies.
Mm-hmm. Well, wasn't it the guy from Blink-182, Tom DeLonge, just released a video, and the U.S. government has actually said, you know what? Yes, we have. There has been proof, and it's funny, like the way that people's minds go now.
From outer space. Wait, they won't say it's from outer space. They say, and they won't say the word alien. They say it's not of earthly technology, but they won't go. But they won't say the full. You know, if it's not earthly, it has to be outer space or alien.
It's got to be something then. It's not from here.
But at least they've taken a step, though.
He goes, they had a welfare state. They had all this stuff 6,000 years ago that nobody knows about, right? Loved his take on the whole thing. So let's take you from a retired pro wrestler, Raven, to IFBB pro and trainer, Nicole Cerrini, certified nutritionist, registered nurse. She started competing in 2022, and she's all about helping you to live a healthier, sustainable lifestyle.
I do. I do believe that. I'm definitely pro alien. You know, there's so many documentaries, things of that nature, even little videos now that you're seeing pop up on TikTok and Instagram. I do believe that to an extent. Yeah. It's an interesting topic.
It totally is. For me, it's one of those ones I can deep dive into for sure on like YouTube and stuff. Mm-hmm. And the interesting thing, I think right before we talked last year, about a year and a half ago, there was something that came out on the news cycle that was to the fact of like, yeah, we're seeing alien ships and blah, blah, blah. But it's that news cycle is so fast and people lose interest almost. And it kind of got lost in the, like, we fucking saw alien space crafts and it just kind of, people just blast past that. It's really weird.
Exactly. It is weird. I know.
If you were abducted by aliens, would you tell anybody?
Yes. Yes, I would. I would not be able to keep that to myself.
Couldn't have said it any better. There's so many documentaries and things of that nature, even little videos you see on TikTok. There's got to be alien visitation, right? So I'll take you from IFBB pro Nicole Cerrini to a fighter you'll know from dominating in the UFC. Aljamain Sterling, the Funk Master, has been with the UFC for over a decade. His grappling is elite. He's fought some of the toughest, from taking the belt from Peter Yan in 2021, title defenses against Dillashaw, Cejudo. Sean O'Malley took the title in 23. Aljamain remains one of the most prominent figures right now in the UFC and has some thoughts to share on alien visitation.
I'm going to say I do think there are other forms of life out there in the universe than just little planet Earth. So I think so. I think there's definitely been there's got to be another planet or species that's more sophisticated and intelligent than us, or just been around longer and probably figure out a way to get here and back, kind of thing.
Sure. I mean, it's a big universe, you know.
Yeah.
Teleportation, I mean, can you fold the universe and jump from one space of time to the next? Some people that are really, really smart think you can do that.
Now, that's just some wacky stuff. But I don't know, man. I'm not saying it can't happen, because I don't know.
Red Truck Beer. You never forget your first truck. Official beer of the Toddcast podcast.
I've been wasting so much time. I've been going out of my mind. All my life I've been searching for a heart like yours, warm and open. All my life I've been searching for you, for you, for you, for you. I'm breathless. Lead me down the dark. You know we got the spark. Temptation fills the air. I'll be your love affair. We could walk this back if you want to. Pretend we never met. Our kiss haunting you control the places that we hide, but never a disguise. Breathe, 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 breathe. Say it, I've been on your mind. Baited to fill your appetite. All your life you've been searching for a heart like mine, warm and open. All my life I've been searching for you, for you, for you, for you. I'm breathless. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Let's make our paradise, no reason left to lie. I've waited all my life, for you to arrive. Breathe, 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 breathe.
And now, stop me if you've heard this before on the Toddcast podcast.
You'll know Canadian comedian John Doerr for a lot of things. He was a correspondent on Canadian Idol. Remember Comedy Now on CTV and the Comedy Network? John. He had the John Doerr television show, his show on CBC, Humor Resources. You've seen him on Comedy Central, Live at Gotham, hosting Funny as Hell on HBO Canada. Great to have him on the cast and get his thoughts on the Canadian sense of humor. Growing up to CTV, Bob and Doug, Letterman, Cosby, and Jim Carrey came up. So did Mr. Show, Kids in the Hall. And John talked about the shows that he was binge watching at the time: The Mandalorian, The Watcher, Ken Burns' wartime documentaries. He shared a near-death story, talked about his family. Cancer culture came up, so did the Tragically Hip. And stop me if you've heard this before, John won a Juno Award for the Best Comedy Album a couple months after being a guest. So keep that in mind as he talks about, at the time, what his career highlights were.
Yeah, well, I can't pick one, but I just feel, I mean, you know what? Strangely, there's a lot. I can't really narrow it down, but like strangely, I feel like doing the Canadian Idol television show was a highlight because I was living in Ottawa at the time. I was working on daytime. I was doing Rogers Community Cable daytime show. I was hosting that show for 3 years, making zero money, working in restaurants to subsidize my income. And I remember auditioning, traveling to Toronto 3 or 4 times to audition to get this role, editing a demo tape together, everything they teach you in TV broadcasting school, and really wanting it so badly. And then the second I got a phone call saying, can you be in Winnipeg for week 1 of Canadian Idol? They've selected you to be the correspondent for the show. I remember instantly it let me move to Toronto. It let me get out of, financial dire straits and a tax problem. And it started a relationship with the production company, which in turn I did the John Doerr television show for. So, and I also had a blast doing that television show. So strangely, that would be the one. I remember being filled with so much excitement and gratitude when I got that call. So yeah, that would be it.
Stop Me If You've Heard This Before on the Toddcast podcast is powered by the Homedwell Group. Buying a house? Selling your home? Contact Kyle at homedwell.ca today.
Is it true my feelings for you are enough? I'm your man, we make plans, stick to the end and begin again. It takes time for the heart to unwind and to trust again. I've been told the dreams will unfold what's been hiding. You give me the freedom to be who I am. All the times my thoughts were unkind, you were patient. It takes time for the heart to unwind and to love again. I've been told that dreams will unfold what's been sand by the ocean, waves kiss the shore. My heart is swimming in emotion. Oh, it takes time for the heart to unwind and to love again. I've been told the dreams will unfold what's been hiding. It takes time for the heart to unwind and to love again. I've been told that dreams will unfold what's been hiding. Time for the heart to unwind and trust again. I've been told that the dreams will unfold what's been hiding. Is it true my feelings for you are enough? I'm your man, we make plans, stick to the end and begin again.
Without question, one of the best indie songs of the last year. The band is Quickness. Love that one. It's called Training a Dog. And I'd be willing to bet you'll see that one at our next live show. Again, on Friday the 19th of September. Blue Light Studio, Quickness, the thick of it, great bill. Both bands absolutely bring it. Both bands have crushing players. Grab a ticket right now to make sure you get in. We do cap these nights at 60 people, by the way, and you save money when you pre-buy a ticket. Again, through eventbrite.ca, Eventbrite, B-R-I-T-E, eventbrite.ca. You heard Dabble Doom, and that's a new song called Ex Annihilatio. And yes, you do know that voice, M. Seal. If you remember Winter Youth, it's that Emily. She teamed up with Dabble Doom for that song, and it's so good to hear her back on the scene. It's been a minute since we heard anything new from her. Okay, so let's say for a moment that UFOs are real and they're coming here to visit, observe, maybe even interfere. How would society react if the truth bomb dropped tomorrow? Would religion adapt? Would governments panic? Imagine the pressure on world leaders to explain why we've been kept in the dark. It would shake the foundation of everything that we believe. That said, let's get to our final guests in this Alien Visitation podcast. Spiritual psychologist Kimberly Tocco is also a real estate agent, an award-winning author, and after losing her 13-year-old son to suicide in 2011, she turned her grief into a mission to reduce the stigma around suicide and mental health. She's an inspiration 100%.
Let me put it this way. How arrogant are we to think that we are the only existing intelligent life? This is it, right? Right. Earth is the only existence of life. But how about we think that maybe Earth is the newest existence of life? Maybe Earth was a last-ditch effort to create something that had a God spark, a human being that could actually birth another human being. Because maybe it had been attempted before and they destroyed themselves and they figured out the perfect recipe, and that would be us. If that be the case, then yes, there is absolutely other life out there. And yes, if we are the newest, I would assume that they've probably come to guide us a little bit. And my novel, too, is all about metaphysical legends following a love story from the time of creation, creation of souls to Earth, to the beginning of time to our time now, following a love story, two souls. Yeah. So I cover a lot of that in my book.
Very interesting. You look at like the Egyptian, the pyramids and all these things that like, even with today's technologies, we wouldn't be able to get as precise as what it is.
And some of the pyramids some of the pyramids have sound chambers, and sound chambers are vibrations that healed the body. And we didn't discover that till years and years later. I apologize. I don't know what that dog's barking at.
It's going nuts, whatever it is.
Hey, boys, the dog's barking. Sorry. I apologize. So, yeah, we've never been able to duplicate building a pyramid, not even a tiny pyramid.
If you're off by just a scratch, by the top, it's done.
And they didn't have any tools.
It's crazy.
What? How did you get that one stone that weighed 4,000 pounds to the top?
Yeah.
And how did you precisely dig hundreds of feet, perfect tunnels that were a maze with chambers and things that would trick and close?
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You can't argue with that. How about we think that Earth is the newest existence of life? Okay, so let me take you from author and spiritual psychologist Kimberly Tocco to actor Ryan Robbins, good Canadian kid, BC boy, who you've seen in so many cool roles. Frank Andrews in Riverdale. He was in Stargate Atlantis, Sanctuary, Battlestar Galactica. You saw him in Apollo 18, Spectral, The Guard, Falling Skies. So check out what Ryan had to say about Alien Visitation.
Oh, how dare you? Yes. In some capacity, I don't know. The short answer is, I also think that we used to be way smarter and we just got dumber. I do think that there's just some things that we just don't understand, and maybe aliens. I don't disbelieve the idea of aliens at all, because why wouldn't there be?
It would be the reverse. It's less feasible that they haven't.
Yeah. How arrogant is it to think that this huge universe that we know nothing about, that we're it?
Right.
That just seems arrogant to me. But
NASA's Kepler program has identified, I don't know, it's a million planets or something like that. It's some ridiculous number. It doesn't need to necessarily be humanoids. It could be just something.
And of all people to start not exposing, but stuff became declassified, and to bring that knowledge to the public. Tom DeLonge
from Blink-182 is like leading this crazy charge and going like, look what's available. This is what's available.
And the
"Oh
government
my God."
and the U.S. government saying absolutely aliens exist, and people are, it's at that point now where the super information highway is. Our attention span is like 6 minutes.
Oh, dude, like, nobody cares.
Nobody cares, dude.
They
like nobody
declassified.
cares.
They're like, oh yeah, no, these are for sure UFOs. Like these are we think these
Like,
are probably alien shits. People are like, oh yeah, cool. What's Trump doing?
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Have we impeached him yet? We did.
Yeah.
Oh, but then he bombed.
Are we going to war with Iran or what's going? Oh, right, cookies over here. Great. Okay. Cool. Yeah. We're all over that.
It's like an impeached president potentially just started a war, and we're just like, nah, I'm over that's my 6 minute limit.
I mean, he's not wrong. He goes, but I also think that we used to be way smarter and we just got dumber. So let's go from actor Ryan Robbins to Dancing Queens winner Sabrina Strasser, open Latin pro-am ballroom dancer, mother of 2, licensed real estate agent.
No, I don't.
Really?
I'm not sure. I mean, there have been sightings of things, but I don't know because I've never experienced seeing or. Do you believe it? I mean,
think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Not only do I think that they visited, I think they live among us.
Really?
Yeah.
Like how?
Like there's enough footage of people with like, the lizard eyes and just crazy looking, and like it wouldn't surprise me. Maybe I'm completely out to lunch.
No, it sounds interesting.
But like, how did they build all this stuff in Egypt to precision, pinpoint accuracy?
You think aliens did that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to read more about it. I'll have to get back to you on that question.
You're like, I had this interview with this guy in Vancouver. It was a complete, like, he seemed normal until the last part of the interview. It was like a nut bar.
No, you're not. I just, now I'm enthralled to find out. I'm going to
read into the whole Egypt thing and how it aligns and like certain places on the map in the world. And like, it's insane. And a guy named Graham Hancock, oddly enough, my name's Todd Hancock.
Yeah.
A guy named Graham Hancock is, I don't know that he's related to me, but he is at the forefront of that. Like,
wow,
it's incredible.
Okay.
Anyway.
The Toddcast Podcast. Find us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and at toddhancock.ca.
Check 1, 2. Oh, oh. Cool, it used to be true when I was a boy. Easily amused. Now I'm grown up, I don't have a clue, but I gotta act like I do. Rules, they sort of follow you everywhere you go. They're probably going to shut your eye, better thought a fool.
trying to find that cool. They are the Vito's, the Pressure, and a great band. They headlined our 10th anniversary party last December. Just a crushing live band as well. Just did a good little summer jaunt, I noticed on their Facebook page. Played Regina, Saskatoon, Medicine Hat, Calgary, Alberta. They're playing Victoria on the island on the 19th. I wonder what those boys would think about Alien Visitation. You know, in recent years, we've seen a wave of insiders, military pilots, intelligence officers, former Pentagon officials step forward and say, yeah, there's more going on than what you've been told. And these people aren't fringe conspiracy theorists. They have clearances. They've seen the records. And here's where it gets strange. Some people believe that UFOs aren't just flyby visitors. They think whoever's behind them is already here, blending in, influencing culture, technology, maybe even politics. He's the guy that's pouring your morning coffee, the girl that's scanning your movie ticket. It sounds like sci-fi, right? But so did your touchscreen iPhones back in the 60s. If an advanced intelligence was among us, would we even notice? It's an interesting topic, no doubt. And before we wrap things up, of course, I wanted to give a big thanks to all of our guests this week for letting us go back and tackle aliens, abductions, and everything else with them. Episode 371, Aliens. Do they live among us? Do they visit us? And once again, my name is Todd Hancock. Thank you so much for being there, listening. Tell your friends about us. Spread the love on social media. I do see that every day, by the way, so thank you for that. We are part of the Realm.fm network, Realm.fm. They're very cool. Tons of fiction and nonfiction podcasts. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Megaphone. Check out all of our videos at our YouTube channel. Comment and rate. Of course, that helps out big time. Search it out through what else? Toddcast Podcast. Huge thanks to all of our stellar sponsors. We simply couldn't do it without all of their support. You can find links to all sponsor websites at toddhancock.ca. If you would like to sponsor the podcast, you can for as little as $10 a day. Contact info is at the homepage. And if you help us find a sponsor, we will still give you a commission. Sorry, is Joe Rogan doing that? I can't remember if he's doing that. Till next time, don't be an asshole. Nobody wants to be around that. Have fun, play hard, and most of all, believe in yourself.
You've been listening to the Toddcast Podcast, powered by Citywide Mortgage Services, dedicated to helping you find the best mortgage rates. Available 7 days a week at citywidemortgage.ca.
The Old West is an iconic period of American history and full of legendary figures whose names still resonate today, like Jesse James, Billy the Kid, and Butch and Sundance, Sitting Bull, Crazy Horse, and Geronimo, Wyatt Earp, Bat Masterson, and Bass Reeves, Buffalo Bill Cody, Wild Bill Hickok, the Texas Rangers, and many more. Hear all their stories on the Legends of the Old West podcast. We'll take you to Tombstone, Deadwood, and Dodge City, to the plains, mountains, and deserts for battles between the U.S. Army and Native American warriors, to dark corners for the disaster of the Donner Party, and shining summits for achievements like the Transcontinental Railroad. We'll go back to the earliest days of explorers and mountain men, and head up through notorious Pinkerton agents and gunmen like Tom Horn. Every episode features narrative writing and cinematic music, and there are hundreds of episodes available to binge. I'm Chris Wimmer. Find Legends of the Old West wherever you're listening now.
Hi, I'm Brandy Basanti. For the last 15 years, I've starred on one of the most successful reality shows of all time, Story Tours. On my new show, The Real Reality, my guest and I will reveal the real story of what it's like navigating fame and notoriety. Because it's my show, I can do whatever I want. I can say whatever I want. No filters, no rules, no network executives. And I believe that's what the world wants. Raw, real, authentic, and I'm gonna fucking give it to you. Though success is great, being in the public eye can come at a cost. Oftentimes, what you see on camera is not the real reality. On each episode of my show, we'll sit down with a different notable individual from the world of TV, film, sports, or internet fame. We will explore their unique story, what really happened on and off camera, how becoming famous has truly impacted their lives, and what their vision is for their future. In a world obsessed with celebrity, followers, and subscribers, the true story is often lost or even buried. This show will reveal what really happened. This show will reveal what people really felt. This show will reveal what fame is really like. This is The Real Reality. Subscribe now wherever you get your podcasts.
It's ticklish business any way you look at it. Come on, we'll stick together.
Love movies? Love classic movies? So do we. Ticklish Business is the podcast where classic film is discussed in modern times. Hosted by me, film journalist Kristen Lopez, and my co-host, author Emily Edwards, we dive into the golden age of cinema with fun, heart, and serious expertise. As published film historians and lifelong classic movie buffs, we bring insider insights, deep research, and lively debates with a variety of special guests, ranging from celebrities like Holly Madison to TCM luminaries Dave Karger and Eddie Muller, and even family members of old Hollywood legends. Subscribe now to Ticklish Business on your favorite podcast app, and let's talk about old Hollywood today.